Holy Christmas, look at that gear. How much of a difference do you guys think each battery is going to make? When you want no compromise when it comes to power, the Extreme line is what you want. I cannot believe it made that much of a difference. We're back at home and we're gonna check the data log on Shockwave over here. Today, we're gonna be comparing both of these batteries, the brand new Innovation RC Extreme Edition against the brand new V2 10,000 milliamp, and we're gonna be comparing them head to head. We're even checking the data logs at the end of this video. I'm really keen to find out, and if you guys are excited, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more. Whoa! Now this here is Shockwave. He is my first speedrun RC that I've ever built. He's an active wing stretched Arrma Typhon. Inside this body, we can see there, oh my, holy Christmas, look at that gear. The gear is literally thicker and wider than the diameter of the motor. It is a 2650 1512 from Castle Creations. And this gear is just gonna push some amperage, which is the whole principle of this video. And coming from here, we have an XLX2 8S ESC. Now, one thing that you'll notice with the V2 10,000 milliamp is that it has 8-gauge wire, which is actually pretty good for all-around use and some heavy-duty applications. This guy, on the other hand, let's just get a little bit of a zoom in on there. Oh, that's 7-gauge wire. That's crazy. So with this battery, you want to use no less than a QS8. Now, just for a little size comparison, these are all 4S batteries. Both of these are from the Extreme line. This here is the standard 10,000 milliamp. You can see that the Extremes are significantly taller, but the 10,000 milliamp is just slightly longer. These guys, on the other hand, are the identical length, and we are not going to be using the 12,500 today just because it really just outclasses this here is as close a spec as possible between both of the lines that we are going to see today. So I'm not going to be running this one. I just brought this for a size comparison just to show you guys. 101, it's pretty darn close as much as I can get them. 94, I mean, it's going to fluctuate a little bit on each side. Probably if I go lower, it's a little bit warmer. Yeah, so they're pretty much identical temperatures, around the same range of temperatures. So I want to keep this data as constant as possible. We're going to see how well this does. And if you guys are excited for this test, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out the whole line of batteries from ChinaHobbyLine, I will have a link right up there that can bring you to the website to find all of them. All right, so we are all zeroed out over here. This is going to be the standard V2 10,000 milliamp battery. I'm going to start on this road, well, this little pathway that I'm going to cut across. Hopefully I can actually make it. And I'm going to do that. That's just going to be the safest way that we can do this. All right, finally, we have the road to ourselves for a little bit. We're all clear from that side. And we're going to come down straight and smooth. Shockwave on the V2 10,000. Very good. We were full throttle for a bit. Now I'm going to pull off on the shallow grass. Hopefully we can hit the little, oh, perfect, the little crossway. Let's see what that was. 102 miles an hour. Nice. 102. That's a pretty good speed, IMO. And that is with the 10,000 milliamp standard V2 IRC battery, which is still really good. That's a great speed, and I'm trying not to, for the most part, overload the ESC, but I do really think the gear that's in here is really pushing it. But 102 miles an hour, V2 IRC 10,000 milliamp battery. Now we're going to put in the Extreme, and then we're going to see what the difference is. After both of these runs are going to be done, what we're going to do is check the log from this run and then the run right after. So we're going to compare and contrast how many more amps or how much faster we're going to go in general. And I'm going to show you guys and read the logs to you. All right, so here we go. This is going to be run number 2 with the IRC Extreme battery inside. And what I'm going to do is keep everything consistent. So wing goes down exactly where it was at with the standard 10,000 milliamp. We are all zeroed out over there. We're going to try to keep it as safe as possible on this road. I'm going to stay on here once again. I'm going to wait for traffic, and then we're going to go as should. All right, so here we go. Right after that car, we seem to be clear. Shockwave is right down over there. I'm gonna try to pull him out in the middle of the road. All right, so we seem to be clear right now. I'm gonna bring Shockwave out, and here he comes. Wow, that sounded a little bit faster actually. I'm not even joking to you. Perfect runoff. I love that it's short grass. And we are safe on the sidewalk over here. Oh my God, I really do like this sidewalk. And it's not even one of those tiny, thin sidewalks. It's like a real deal. I could lay down and stack two of me and still have some room sidewalks. Let's see what that was. We need to break 102 miles an hour, or at least equal it, and we'll see what the difference is. Oh, wow. 106 miles an hour. Wow. That's actually really impressive. And I was full throttle for at least 4 or 5 seconds on each battery, so we're pretty much topped out over here. Oh yeah, that's really good. But what I'm gonna do is take the battery out just so we could see what we're working with here. IRC Extreme 4S 10,500. And that was a 4 mile an hour difference flat out, which is crazy. So this thing was definitely screaming a lot more. And here we are, we're back at home and we're gonna check the data log on Shockwave over here. Here is our computer. You could see the wire coming up and down and all around, all the way into the back of Shockwave. Now I was actually going to discharge the batteries and store them, but this thing makes a lot of noise, so I'm turning that off for now. Left side, which is the first run, was the Innovation RC Edition 10,000 milliamp V2 against the Extreme 10,500, and identical voltages. And watch what happens when I click power out. When I click off power out, it's going to actually get rid of that one parameter, and I can already see up over here there's an RPM difference. That is our RPM spike. Look at that. And we also got full throttle basically at the same exact time, but I'm going to show you guys why. Now this here is the first run of the 10,000 milliamp V2 IRC battery, and you can see this black line right here. This is our plateau. This is our full throttle range. So we want to be right over here. And what I want to see is the peak of voltage drop, which is where pretty much the voltage drops in the battery the most. And I'm going to look at that, and we can see 14.2 volts is where our mouse is, and that's pretty much at full throttle. So basically this guy was able to sustain 14.2 volts under load in full throttle, and that's pretty much where we want to look at. And then as for our RPM, we were just at 30,381 RPM. Now it's going to be time for our extreme data. We're going to see the difference between this one and the standard V2. So I'm clicking, highlighting, and dragging. Now we could see, here's our throttle. We're at plateau right there. I don't know what's going on over here. It could have been just like a radio glitch, like over here and over here, just because I'm kind of close to power wires out where I ran. I didn't like release throttle or anything. Not too sure what happened there, but either way, here's our voltage drop. We're going to want to put it at the point of the most amount of voltage drop, and that is 14.7 volts. Now, if we compare it, I wrote a little list down here. So what I basically did was extract at the same exact mouse point the data from the first run and the second run, and I put it on this little piece of paper here so we could summarize it. This column right here is for the standard Innovation RC V2 10,000, and we have this column over here for the Extreme 10,500. So we're gonna see and compare all the data that I just took from there on here. 4 miles an hour faster with the Extreme compared to 102 miles an hour with the standards. So there's definitely a difference here. So you can see 388 amps and 353 amps at the identical mouse position, 35 less amps, 7.5, basically 7.5 horsepower, I'm just rounding up, compared to 7 horsepower. That is literally half a horsepower difference between both of the batteries to go an additional 4 miles an hour. And you would think, wait a minute, if you're pulling more horsepower, wouldn't you go faster? Not necessarily, actually. This is a huge efficiency difference, and we're seeing this plain as day. 14.2 volts compared to 14.7 under load at over 350 amps each. So there was half a volt extra with the Extreme at the disposal. in which that also made less amps just because everything is more efficient. And that there concludes all the data from the data logging. So pretty much Shockwave was able to run 4 miles an hour faster with the identical voltage, just with a little bit of an efficiency boost. Well, the proof is in the pudding. Well, I guess the data log. I can certainly tell you that these batteries, I mean, there is a big difference. There really is, and you're going to get what you pay for. Now, here's the thing. If you're not speed running or doing anything like really crazy, you'll be fine with the standard V2s. But when you want no compromise when it comes to power, the Extreme line is what you want. Now, if you want to get your hands on any of these beautiful power bricks, I'll have a link right up there. It'll bring you to the website to buy all of them, different voltages, milliamps, and whatnot. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more. Alrighty guys, I appreciate every single one of you watching. Make sure you stay safe and have a good one.